Hey there, Leo. It's me here, Krystal Clear. Happy to deliver to you Spirit's message for November 2024. I'm going to start by pulling 2 oracle cards for the month, one for the energy coming into the month, and one for the energy as we leave the month of November. Let's see what we got, Leo. Coming into the month, we've got Greet the Darkness. Here, where the spine bends and the mouth quivers, breathes the hidden, the pieces that make you whole but cut deep with all of their sharp edges. And as you leave the month, Leo, we've got the wolf. Devour the ferocious calling. Within the howling of your spirit, run wildly into the freedom of your knowing. And that's the truth. There's a lot of dark for sure here, right? And Leo, vibrant light. For sure that just as big as the light is for Leo can the dark be. And not every card here is dark. You can see there that that's got a light image, light. So there's definitely this greet your darkness at the beginning of the month. For Leo, I do feel that it is important that you be honest about some of your insecurities, your worries, your vulnerabilities. Sometimes maybe pride might get in the way with that Leo sun. And also to not greet the darkness with this big sense of dramatic. Like, it doesn't have to be dramatic. The hardships, the shadows, they don't have to be dramatic. But when we can acknowledge them, or when you can acknowledge them, Leo, I feel like it does bring some, just move my owls back. It does bring some freedom. It brings a sense of liberation by greeting the darkness and not being afraid to say, I'm afraid, or not being afraid to say, I don't want to do this, or I do want to do this. Finding your vulnerability at the top of the month is going to be important as you get to the end of the month, because at the end of the month with the wolf, it's about really finding your path, your pack, your purpose. And is it something that you take in solitude, right? Because there's the lone wolf for sure. But there's also packs of wolves. So for you to decide, it's important for you to decide, because the relationships, especially for the romantic ones, it's important that you're both on the same page. Like, what is the purpose of our relationship? And if it's not with the romantic relationship, it's looking at the purpose of the work that you're doing. Like, the relationship that you have with yourself, is it being expressed fully? Does my authentic self have full range to express itself? So these are the 2 areas in which Spirit is showing me to greet the darkness and the wolf energy. To look deep into if it is with yourself, right? And so maybe then it's the things that come from yourself, the work that you do, the place that you live, the communities that you're in, how you even talk, the beliefs that you have. Looking at all of the hardships that have made you and finding some gratitude or appreciation there. So we've got 3, and we usually pull 4, so we'll start there with the 3. But finding some appreciation, or like a silver lining, or to look at it from a different perspective, to see maybe not where you were meant to struggle, but where you were protected, I feel can really help you greet the darkness rather than feel hardship, shame, or scariness from it. All right, so these are the 3 cards that fell out. We've got the King of Pentacles, the Knight of Wands, and the Queen of Swords. And so we're going to pull one more tarot for the month of November. And it's the Wheel. And I do feel that shift. There is a shift happening either within yourself and that intimate relationship with yourself, or with the closest, most intimate relationships around you here in the month of November. So you've got 3 cards that are all court cards. And if you want to learn more about reading tarot, definitely check out doitdivine.com, where I teach esotarot. I teach you all about the tarot cards. But what I find interesting about just the structure of cards, it feels like there's a lot of people involved. So when it comes to this reading being about your relationship with other people, starts as a relationship with yourself, and then I see a King of Pentacles show up, the Knight of Wands show up, the Queen of Swords show up, and then it's the Wheel. I don't see anything representing cups, and that's like the emotions. And so I do feel that this is very much so with like those intimate relationships that we were talking about. But that can look like, you know, like your supervisor, your boss, or someone that you work with, maybe a partner, or it can be your clients. You know, if you work for yourself, then your clients are basically, you know, their happiness depends on your workflow. Or if you do work for a company, like your company's management, their happiness on you determines your work. So I do feel like you care deeply about doing a good job. Make sure that you're doing a good job for and with yourself as well. When I see the Knight of Wands, it tells me you want to also do a good job for the people in your life that's like your community, or that who depend on you, or that like who share space with you. Maybe they live with you, or they're just in your everyday life. Like you want to be good for these people. You want to help lead them. You want to help care for them. You want to help support them. Make sure you're not doing so without taking care of yourself first. Make sure that you are taking that self-care. You're greeting your darkness. Like, am I only doing this for someone else because it gives me something? Like, make sure I'm giving to myself first before I do for others. Otherwise, I'm doing for others in this place of scarcity, and it's likely from some sort of scarce mindset. So making sure you're filling up on that, Leo. And then we've got the Queen of Swords. So I do feel that this is the people in your life where you are making partnership, where communication really matters. It's important to have a intuitive balance to your logical way of communicating, or your eccentric way of communicating. So if you're communicating, I mean, it depends on the rest of your chart. This is just Leo and it's just general. But if you can communicate with big emotions, make sure they are grounded, that they are grounded in truth. If you communicate very pragmatically and for the greater good, make sure that you're not doing so to be getting approval or any sort of righteousness that is detrimental to your need and your fulfillment. Like, it should be something that is healing for everybody, not just an image. And then if you communicate very like, maybe emotions kind of scare you, then you're going to have to lean in, but to find the duality of your communication with the people that you love. And finally, we've got the Wheel. So I do feel that by the end of the month, there's going to be those shifts. There's going to be shifts in relationships, and you connect more deeply with community, become more confident and independent within yourself, and your intimate relationships can grow from this connection that you redefine within. So let's get Spirit's advice as we go through November. So we've got conclusions are within reach. It's a full moon eclipse. We did just come out of eclipse season. That was the September, October. So I do feel like this shift that has been happening with your internal relationship and your relationship with others, it likely would have come to a head or reached a, whoops, I hit my owl. Might have reached like some anticipation or some momentum. What is that? Acceleration, max force around the eclipse. Like, it started to grow around eclipse time. And I feel like that is what's coming to a resolution here at the end of the month. So specifically what you've been dealing with in this last, September to mid-October comes to a conclusion at the end of November. So you're right there. So continue to just hold steady. Depending on when you read this, you'll be close to reaching that resolution. And Spirit indicates with the Wheel, it's a good shift and there's something new to experience, and it is liberating. So I hope this helps as you navigate the month, Leo. I'm wishing you all the best blessings and love always. Take care.